So President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris will be holding a rally focused on abortion rights in Virginia today as the Biden campaign puts the issue front and center in the 2024 presidential race. Meanwhile, in New Hampshire, Democrats also have a primary today, but Mr. Biden's name is not on the ballot. So for more on this, I want to bring in CBS News Chief White House Correspondent Nancy Cordes. Thanks for joining us, Nancy. It's kind of like this quirky thing where New Hampshire wanted to remain the first in the nation. The Democratic the party wanted South Carolina to be the first one. And so we've got this weird quirk where the actual president, the incumbent, is actually not on the ballot. How confident is Biden's campaign about him? Wait a minute. It says coming out on top. He's going to come out on top. But there is kind of like a write-in campaign going on right now because there are actually two other names on the ballot. So can you tell us a little bit more about this write-in campaign to get Biden's name on the ballot as well?
Sure. It kind of makes your head spin, right? Because we are so used to campaign cycle after campaign cycle, Iowa having the first caucus and then New Hampshire having the first primary. But this time around, the president decided, and with the help of the DNC, they chose to kind of rejigger the primary calendar. They wanted to start instead with South Carolina for a couple of reasons. A, they feel that it's more diverse, more representative of the country, and also South Carolina was a really big key to President Biden's Democratic primary victory the last time around, and he wanted to show them some love. But New Hampshire didn't quite go along with the plan. They said, we're going to hold our primary at the same time anyway, even though South Carolina is coming up in a couple of weeks. And so the DNC said, okay, you do what you want, but we're not going to sanction it, and Joe Biden's not going to put his name on the ballot there. Now, obviously, it would still be embarrassing if Joe Biden did not get enough write-in signatures today to beat out people who are on the ballot, like Dean Phillips, congressman from Minnesota, or Marianne Williamson, the author. And that's why there is this sort of side campaign going on by Democrats who are not affiliated with the campaign to urge people to write Joe Biden's name in. And while the campaign, I'm sure, is hoping that will be successful, publicly, they're not saying anything about it. In fact, I just talked to a campaign official a short time ago. I said, how are you feeling about New Hampshire? And the response was, we're really looking forward to the big campaign rally we've got coming this evening in Manassas, Virginia, between President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris. So, they're just kind of trying to pretend that New Hampshire isn't happening, not because they don't like the people of New Hampshire, but because they made this plan. It starts in South Carolina, and they're sticking with it.
Well, that's kind of interesting because I never considered that perhaps the timing of this event in Virginia is not by accident. But let's talk about it because, yes, we've talked about how the campaign, the president's campaign, is kind of pivoting towards abortion rights. But we have the president, the vice president, both of their spouses. They're all going to be on stage at this rally. I think that in terms of the image that the campaign is trying to project, it's not just about abortion. They're sending another message here. This is a significant event, I guess.
It is a significant, again, and it's kind of surprising if you think about it, that this is the first joint campaign rally these four have held together since announcing their bid for re-election months ago. But up until now, they've really been content to kind of let the Republicans take the stage and fight against each other. The president doesn't necessarily want to be out there on the campaign trail and have the Republicans firing away at him rather than having the circular firing squad where they are, moving further and further to the right to try to pick up Republican votes. And so he has kept a pretty low profile on the campaign trail until now. But the timing, you're right, is significant. First of all, it's looking more and more clear that after tonight, former President Trump is going to be the runaway front runner, most likely in the Republican primary. He is likely to be the opponent to President Biden, and that just becomes more clear every day. Yesterday was the 51st anniversary of Roe v. Wade, and this campaign believes that abortion is going to be a central issue in the campaign, and that is going to be a big driver of Democratic voters. And so they're having this abortion rights themed rally tonight in Manassas, Virginia, which is not only a battleground state, but it's also a state where Republicans had talked about putting maybe a 15-week ban in place for abortions, and it didn't go over very well with voters. In fact, they elected more Democrats to the state legislature. And so the Biden campaign believes that this is a sign that voters are on their side on this issue, and that's why they're highlighting it this afternoon, and they're going to do it many, many more times between now and November.
All right, Nancy, thank you.
You're welcome.